Our former chairman of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Afari Gyan, has cautioned the Electoral Commission against imposing changes in the electoral system on political parties. Speaking at the 4th Constitution Day lecture, he urged the Electoral Commission to rather view IPAC as a convenient forum for effecting changes in the electoral system with a view of achieving consensus. Stanley Ni Blewu has more.
Citizens drawn from the academia, government and the general public converged at the auditorium of the University of Professional Studies, Accra, to participate in the 4th Constitution Day lecture organized by the One Ghana movement. The lecture sought to reflect on Ghana's adoption of a constitutional rule and democracy after experiencing 3 coups d'etats that led to the overthrow of 3 of Ghana's elected leaders. Former chairman of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Afari Gyan, underscored the relevance of the country enjoying 3 decades of uninterrupted democracy under the 4th Republican dispensation, but warns key actors in Ghana's electoral system to guard against circumstances that has the potential of stampeding it. He cautioned the Electoral Commission not to impose decisions concerning electoral reforms on the political parties, but strive to reach consensus.
The Electoral Commission must view the Inter-Party Advisory Committee, IPAC, as a convenient forum for discussing changes to our electoral practices, irrespective of whether the intended change originates from the Commission or the parties. The reason is that it is not good practice to foist changes in electoral practices on important stakeholders like political parties. It is prudent to discuss any intended changes thoroughly at IPAC meetings with a view to achieving consensus. If consensus is achieved, the IPAC then becomes a convenient vehicle for disseminating the changes to the electorate.
Dr. Afari Gyan also bemoaned the dominance of the monetary inducement in the country's electoral system, adding it could have negative implications for the country's fledgling democracy.
In days gone by, whatever vote buying or vote selling there was took place in secrecy. Not so these days. What we have now looks like an open market where candidates can freely buy votes and citizens can freely sell their votes in broad daylight, while we all look on seemingly unconcerned. But it is a shameful spectacle, because vote buying and vote selling are unlawful, and they undermine 2 important principles that underpin our democracy. Vote buying undermines the idea that we choose our leaders out of our free will. And vote selling undermines the idea that we hold our elected leaders accountable through elections.
In reviewing the lecture, former Attorney General and the former President John Mahama, Marietta Brew Apiopon, expressed unhappiness about some decisions already taken by the Electoral Commission regarding the upcoming December 7 general elections.
The decision by the Electoral Commission to close the poll at 3 p.m. instead of the usual 5 p.m. and not to use indelible ink during the election. And these 2 decisions is already causing a ruckus and a stir all over. Changes to the electoral process are bound to happen, but these should prioritize inclusivity, protecting the right to vote, accessibility to the voting process, transparency, and fairness in counting the votes and the declarations.
MP for Sikado Ketan and former Attorney General under President Akufo-Addo urged for checks and balances among the 3 organs of government. He argued that parties who resort to courts for redress of electoral grievances without justified causes must be made to suffer the consequences.
People who don't have any basis for bringing election petitions must be punished. 3 of us agreed. We all said without exception that such people must be mulcted in what is called heavy and punitive costs. If you have no basis for bringing an electoral petition, don't bring it. I added that such a person is a threat to democracy. It's undermining democracy. I understand that they do it to keep their foot soldiers happy. I understand that they do it so that they continue getting finance. Such a person should be banned from taking part in elections for a period. You are not fit to be a public officer. If there's a case in court which is not frivolous, no, why? You should go to court. But if you know that you have no basis and you decide to go to court, then the court should punish you.